Hello, everybody, and welcome to the workshop. My name is Sarah Billiot.
I'm Patrick Caleri.
And most people know me as Frankie Valentine. Only the people I like.
I feel like
I really
everyone knows you as Frankie Valentine.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So you
I
like
have a limit.
everyone.
No. They got some gorillas hanging off the family tree that still calls me Jew.
All right, that's fair. That is something that, like, yeah, my siblings are the only ones that call me a very particular nickname that, like, I used to go, like, when I was 15, everyone called me that. But now that I'm 30, it's just disconcerting.
What's
Sandy Andy?
Wait, what did you say, Sarah?
I said, what's the nickname?
It's not that bad, but it makes no sense. My middle sister started calling me Kip, and it was because it was based on, like, there was some Disney Channel movie in which someone goes up to a character and says, "Kip, may I call you Kip?" And she heard that, she started calling me that. But the real kicker was we moved to South Carolina, and unbeknownst to me, she told everybody at our school that Kip was my real name and Patrick was my middle name. And so that just kind of got the ball rolling.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was honestly, though, it was pretty impressive because I really thought that I was 12. So I'm like, okay, she's going to call me that for a week and then she's going to forget about it. And no, that followed me until I was like at least 25.
I love that.
And that woman is now a mother. So
Please tell me she named the baby Kip.
She did not. No,
amazing.
She did not. I think that would have been a pretty hard sell.
Kip, what's his middle name? We like fish. Kipper.
Kipper.
I wish I had a name that could be a nickname. Like, my name is Sarah Ann. Like, that's so fucking basic.
Sand.
So white and so basic. The only nickname I've ever had in my life, well, my niece calls me Tony because my coworkers used to call me serotonin because I was very depressed. So I told
Okay.
That's a true statement. And so I told my cousin that, and she said, I'm gonna have my daughter call you Tony, and she calls me Tony.
All right, I like it.
This bitch depressing.
Other than that, I just had a really bad attitude whenever I was young, and they called me Sassy Sarah. So
I feel like with Sarah Ann, someone could have done like Saran wrap. I mean, there's some potential. I'm not going to say the best.
That's for her murderous alter ego.
Yes.
That's who comes out when she's writing, like, and then she skinned her son's wife and curled in the back of the Saran wrap.
That's written by Saran wrap.
Save that for if you ever write a stinker. You'd be like, Saran wrap it up.
Well, the thing with like Patrick is that the natural one for a lot of it is Patty, and I just, I don't enjoy Patty. So really, it's just not. I mean, I guess there's Pat, but I don't know.
All I can think about is the Julia Sweeney movie. It's Pat. It's like, don't do that to yourself. Be patty cake. It's fine. I was Fat Rat for a long time as a child. That didn't do anything to my psyche.
Kids are so mean.
No, it was my dad. That was not a joke either.
Dads are mean too.
Dads are mean.
Hey guys, can't afford therapy? Have a podcast.
It's basically as effective.
Yeah. My psychiatrist, I met with him a couple weeks ago. And I was telling him, like, I've just been so stressed out. Obviously, I just had a miscarriage. That's going to cause stress. I'm trying to buy a house. That's going to cause stress. He was like, have you ever been tested for autism? And I was like, no, do I need to be? He's like, that can cause anxiety. And you do have some symptoms. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. But I don't think we were talking about autism. I think we were talking about anxiety.
I don't know, you don't really have to be autistic for a miscarriage and buying a house to cause you any stress. I've never done one, but I currently own a house, and that was pretty fucking stressful. It's even more stressful every month when the fucking bills come in. I don't know if I'm autistic. I've never been tested, but I paid the fucking bills.
I think that's going to be my rebuttal from now on. Whenever I don't know what to say, I'm just going to ask people if they're autistic. Very serious. Just if they tell me any problem, have you thought about the fact that you might be autistic? That's just,
so then I tried. Wait, let's try. Oh God, I broke my ankle. I fell down the stairs. I hit my head on the wall. I'm bleeding eternally, and I gotta have a surgery next week.
I mean, but a normal person probably wouldn't have missed that step.
Yeah, have you been tested for autism?
So you probably
really upsetting because I broke both of my feet because I missed a step.
That therapist is about
autistic, guys.
Both my foot just went like in that movie Misery, and now I'm autistic. What comes first, the autism or the fall? I don't when do you get tested? Before you fall or after?
I'll say this for myself. Could I see some of the markers? Probably. But at this point, I'm high functioning enough that I've made it this far. I'd rather not know.
Yeah, same.
And they also don't like to test for it in little girls. That's what the whole thing with Asperger's was. Asperger was like a Nazi doctor, and he'd find these autistic Jewish children. He was like, "You guys are really smart. You're gonna come and not die and do things I want you to do." And we don't live like that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with ADHD too. I mean, I got diagnosed with that 2 years ago. In my mid to late 20s. That's crazy.
It's interesting because you're completely right, Sarah. Especially because it's one of those squeaky wheels get the grease kind of things where in most boys, in the symptoms of ADHD are presenting more heavily in boys just because they make themselves more of a nuisance for lack of a better term. The ADHD that people associate more with women is more it does translate into stuff like reading and stuff like that, and focusing on that kind of aspect where it's mental instead of you're running around a classroom.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I was a GT kid, which is gifted and talented. I was in the gifted classes. And now that I'm a teacher, I know some of the kids in the gifted and talented class, and they're like, "Oh yeah, every one of us is at some point on the spectrum. We're all autistic." And I'm like, "Well, I was gifted and I'm not autistic." And they all just kind of looked at me. And I was like, "Did I just get diagnosed by a bunch of 10th graders? The fuck just happened?"
Yeah, I was in GT too. That's another check for my psychiatrist.
Is that on the checklist? I like books. I was in gifted and talented, and I have a specific way I have to put on my socks and my shoes.
I have very specific utensils that I use for spaghetti sauce, and I will flip a lid if someone uses the wrong utensil.
I do this thing where if we say, okay, we're gonna go to the mall later this afternoon, and later this afternoon comes, you're like, yeah, we're not gonna go to the mall. I don't know why, but I have this minty bee. I have this little why not? Or if we say, okay, we're just gonna stay home all day today and not do anything, it's like, oh hey, can we run to the store? No, we fucking can't. We already decided we're staying home. How very dare you?
Fair. I hate making plans in the afternoon because then I just spend all day waiting for that plan to happen. I don't know what it is. I just mentally if something happens at 5:30 and up at 9, I'm just like, I got to be somewhere at 5:30. Well, day shot. I mean, what am I gonna do?
Well, you don't want to get all sweaty. That's what my grandma would say. You don't want to get all sweaty. Sit down. We're gonna watch soap operas until it's time to, do the thing at midnight. Okay. I think I got it from her.
8:00 a.m. I was always at Aldi.
Well, we had a writing prompt last week.
Oh, did we?
2 weeks ago. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because last week was Mardi Gras.
I did
Um,
it.
so last week's or 2 weeks ago's writing prompt was write a poem about tradition, and none of us drank this week.
Woo! I
So
almost did.
exciting. I almost did too. I finished it about an hour ago.
Let,
Yeah.
let let's put it this way: if my poem was a baby, it would still be covered in placental goo. Like they'd still be
Right.
weighing that little fucker.
I don't mean to brag, but compared to both of yours, mine is a healthy 6 hours old. So, whatever.
Has it cooed yet? Has it made that milestone?
It's basically a genius.
Basically a genius.
Uh,
Okay. Well, I'll go first. Mine is very basically titled Christmas Tradition. Um, and Frankie, I don't know if you remember this, but whenever we first started the Turtle Club, I had written
Yes.
a story about a Christmas tree farm.
Yes.
Okay, that is what this poem is based on, specifically because my little sister was like talking to me about it, and she's like, sometimes I just think about that story about a Christmas tree farm
We're going
and
back to
the
the
ending
farm.
of it.
We're going back to the farm. I love
So,
farms.
yeah, I wrote it into a poem, and I don't like how it turned out because I'm bad at poetry, but let's just see.
But we love you, and that's what matters.
Yeah, well,
All right, let's read this turd.
okay. On the first breath of Christmas, she rises with the sun, her bare feet over cold boards, and her hair held tightly in a bun, while coffee grounds bloom and while nutmeg drifts, and while her eggnog thickens, bubbles, and lifts. The room smells like Christmas, synthetic pine and spice, as she prepares for her boys to return full of life, with a tree thick and tall and evergreen from the farm, to decorate with ornaments and keep the home warm. She clears out a space between the piano and wall, where the tree skirt shall lay to catch the needles that fall, through December's last breaths as the evergreen dies around gift wrapped in ornaments and her son's sparkling eyes. But this Christmas season won't align with the past. The boys are out searching for pine that will last, but she'll be home, asleep and in bed, with her hair tied tightly in a bun atop her head. The space by the piano waits bare and wide, no boxes are stacked with ornaments inside. They'll carry the tree through the hush of the door and wait for the scents of coffee, eggnog, and more. But the home holds its breath, lifeless and bare, and morning climbs slowly across the walls without care. Upstairs, light gathers along the hall's bend. It listens for breath, and it does not descend.
Oh, I remember now. We're all falling
See, I don't have the backstory, but I do like. I think it ends very strongly, and that makes me think that like, oh man, I kind of wish I did know the backstory.
I can put the story in the Discord.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please do, because it's been a
Actually,
while.
Christmas Tree Farm 2: Infinity War.
God damn it. Oh, that's my house on Zillow. Okay.
No, I enjoy. I mean, you did it pretty well. I think it. You've got a lot of the syllable. You did the thing that I think it's hardest to do with poetry, and you don't need to do necessarily, but you kept the syllables pretty consistent between stanzas. Obviously, there are some where it is one extended or one less, but I liked it, and like I said, I think the end is definitely his strongest note.
Yeah.
Nice.
Usually I do not like rhyming poetry. But in yours, the rhyme didn't win, which you hear a lot in old school like rock music. Motherfuckers up there rhyming the word and. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But you didn't let the rhyme win. Every word had a purpose. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Thanks.
enjoyed it too. I think we're all also like in the same sense that we don't usually write poetry. I don't read a lot of poetry, and so I'm like I don't have as much to say because again, it no,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
We
Jinx.
did you ever take Jay Udall's poetry class?
Yes.
Yes. He's the one who told me about letting the rhyme win. And like
Mhm.
after he said it, he like ruined the Eagles for me. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Like I used to like Take It Easy so much. It was the Eagles and Led Zeppelin. He was like, they're just saying the same thing over and over again. I'm like, that's a fucking chorus, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, he used to
We
use a
would
lot of
agree.
music to, like, show, like, good poetry versus not necessarily bad poetry, but, like, poetry where the rhyme is just too strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the most something that I can't do, but I think something that is really interesting in poetry is like you've got ending couplets and whatnot, but also kind of matching and rhyming the middle stanzas against each other, or the middle of a line with the middle of the previous line.
Mhm.
It makes me jealous. The only thing that I really I have attempted like free verse poetry, but to me that's just I'm writing an essay, aren't I? I'm just
Not not necessarily, because I enjoy me some free verse now. I write the shit out of some free verse. But the free verse has to have some kind of gimmick with it. Be it
Mhm.
internal rhymes at random spaces or skipping words, allowing the reader to fill in blanks and stuff like that. Otherwise, yeah, you are just writing an essay. Like in this essay, I will skip lines like this.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Patrick, do you want to go next?
I will go next. I feel like it was supposed to. I feel like there was an unconscious agreement that we were supposed to make it about
Yeah.
Christmas. But anyways, I
No,
guess
I was just basic.
Yeah. I was totally gonna do Mardi Gras, and then a Yuletide log was born. So
it happens. Well, mine, I thought when I started this that I was going to attempt something more free verse, but then my old instincts took over, and I'm like, no, it must rhyme. So it is again, it's very pretentious in a sense, but I wasn't trying for that. I just this is very much tied to. I guess it can be related to Christmas in a sense. I guess I'll just read it and then we'll talk about
Okay.
it. I called this Sugar Glass Requiem because that's a name for something that I've had for about 15 years, and I'm like, screw it, I'll put it on this. Ah, for blood spilled by hallowed hands, so praise the man in vapors wreathed. A reflection in metal marble glass, our lonely icon upon the altered heath. Effigy of an order dead and dying still, now red in word, now white as snow, ever dying, ever failing, ever strong, ever this and all the Lamb is wont to know. He belches echoes of some deity, enshrined to shrive a blighted world, hands grasping, clasping, clawing now, an old procession of undivine churls. From rank upon ranks in metal caps fall hymns from heaven in tattered legions, some small, some great, some terror wrought, thine platitudes of furthest reaches. A membrane of a remnant lord in naught but pockmarked memory, through want, through greed, we so define those cloistered halls of Galilee. A running river tween the prayers, two masses split by wood and stone, to rightness yet more recompense, this boulevard of death atoned. So eat the flesh, so drink the blood, so revel in the corpse divine. Think not of those who lay the law, embrace the gods' diluted wine. Rolling on and up through memory, it rolls, it twists, it snakes. Rolling down into eternity, it buckles, bends, and breaks. In whispers do our true selves lie, we saints and stainless misanthropes. But for the memory of August skies, we sing, we live, we hope.
ooh,
I
pretty.
liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the rhythm that you have whenever you say things like, um, ever dying, ever failing, ever strong, ever this.
Hmm.
Um, and through
It
greed,
creates like
through
a
want.
cadence.
Yeah. And then at the end, it ends with we sing, we live, we hope. Like, really good rhythm, really good cadence. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This was a very pretentious Christmas. So I could
No, so my when I was writing this, and again, it's something different because it's not narrative in any sense, but I really just kind of leaned into the whole screw it, just write what sounds right, and then like just try to make it fit. And so I was thinking about growing up in the church in this when I was writing this, and again, it's I try to use some language that keyed towards that. But yeah, it was interesting. I can't say I hated writing it. It's something that maybe over time and with practice I might be more interested in.
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely like with the language that you used, I could definitely tell it was something to do with, I mean, like obviously I know that it was about like, the church and religion. But I feel like this type of poem with the language that you used could be read in like an English class of people like learning old English.
Oh, well, good. I did try to kind of use more language in the 1960s versions of the Bibles I read growing up.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz it's not hard to read, but words like effigy, um what else was there? Oh, there was another word. I was like, I need to look up that word. Oh, in the in the title, Requiem. Like, I don't know. Like you use these words all the time. You do it, and I always have to go look them up.
To the Google.
But I feel like this specifically could be read in like an English class where people have to read line by line and understand what these things mean, if that makes sense.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I kind of I wrote it in the hope, not in the hope of that, but in the sense that like, yeah, it's not. It doesn't. It was kind of freeing to think it doesn't have to make sense off the bat. Like as long as if I can kind of rationalize it in my head, not everyone will do it the same way, but I guess that's another complicated aspect to it. It's like, okay, I want to. It's fine if everyone interprets it a certain way, but like not this way, like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I liked it.
yeah.
And Sarah, I feel the need to tell you that for this particular piece, you were anonymous blobfish.
Oh, fun.
I don't want to know what I am anonymously. But there's a wolf on my piece. But
All
yes,
right.
it was a very lovely read. I appreciated it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Back to Christmas.
Yeah. The anonymous buffalo is here now.
All
An
right,
anonymous
I'm Buffalo. Wait, why does I feel like Sarah's is always cooler than me?
There's a
I was
wolf
just
and
a
a buffalo.
blobfish.
But then
It's
you got.
okay. He was a typewriter. All right. So mine is called Yuletide Rituals. The tree is up, gifts are wrapped, and balls hung up on the tree. I got my book, I got my nog, and I got little old me. I sit by the window, I read until dawn. I eat and sip until all the snacks are gone. One for the money, two for the show. Where did all my Oreos go? I light the candle and I say the prayer and I watch the smoke rise into the air. The sacrifice is over, the goose is well cooked. My life will improve now. That's all it took.
I
Wait,
like
that
the
was
where did
cute.
all my I like where did all my Oreos go?
That was
I
cute.
Thank you.
it was I did find it funny. Honestly, the first two um, kind of stanzas just made me think almost of a Dolly Parton song.
There.
That's funny because I was thinking Little Ol' Me, I was thinking a Taylor Swift song, Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me, and then One for the Money, Two for the Show. I know that she has that somewhere in her songs, but I don't know what what song it is because I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay.
You
I
sure
feel
about that?
you should, I feel like there's a good chance that 98% of the. Do you think Taylor Swift has used every single word that's used in this in a song at some point? I feel like
Um,
this might be a hard
Are
one.
you Taylor
yeah.
Swift?
I know she's used window. She's had to have used dawn. Do you see
Oh
that
yeah,
bitch?
for sure. Dawn.
She has never used the word Oreos.
She's
Yeah,
never
Okay.
used
that's
the word goose. I
true.
can't.
I feel like Goose might be a sneaky one though. Who knows? Maybe it's an album.
I bet you we could just like go on Reddit and be like Swifties. Tell
That's
me
true.
every single song.
Honestly, we could definitely. All right, that's going to be the next thing, our next experiment on this podcast.
Next week, am I the asshole for asking a bunch of Swifties if Taylor Swift had ever said the word Oreos?
Yeah, because I mean, like, besides Oreos and Goose, definitely she probably has sacrifice is definitely in there. Maybe not snacks,
Definitely not snacks.
and then
Or
nog.
nog. Yeah.
Hold on, there's a Taylor Swift lyric searcher.
All right, just put the word Goose.
Type in Oreos. That's not even the part. Type in Oreos now.
Oh,
Okay,
fantastic.
okay. Let's see. 0 usages and 0 songs.
No,
Woo!
I challenge you.
Is that Goose or Oreos?
Both.
No. Okay. Well, she has the opportunity now to prove us wrong. If we're calling her out.
What she got against Beast?
The word candle was used 4 times.
Okay.
Only
fair.
4?
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing. Even Liam's upset.
If it's in, that's bullshit. If it's in a chorus, do you think they only count it once?
No, because it came up twice for one song.
Oh, okay. All right.
I forgive them. Well, that was this week's. What are we doing next week?
We're now the Taylor Swift podcast.
We're just gonna listen to a song and then bitch about the lyrics. Like, she keeps letting the fucking rhyme win, guys.
She's
Okay, it's our song.
Millennials yell at trees.
We also don't buy diamonds or eat out as much. But
That's true. Can't afford it.
Right? There actually was a like headline that was like, millennials aren't buying diamonds, and someone's like, I can't fucking eat diamonds, Linda.
Also, diamonds just like my ring is moissanite because I was like, diamonds lose their value almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, I'm afraid I'm gonna get mugged, so
That's why you have
a fake diamond.
That's why you're supposed to have a big beehive hairdo when you go out with your fancy jewelry on. So if someone tries to hit you over the head and steal your stuff, it's a soft blow and you don't get a bump. And if you do, you can't see it. It's a beehive.
Just rebounds off.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna look like fucking George Washington from now on whenever I go outside.
I was thinking be Arthur, but okay.
Jerry,
you follow George this shit.
You see that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Father of our country.
Where's Sarah going? Oh, she's just crossing the Delaware again. That was him, right? I'm not.
Yes, that was. You got it.
Okay.
He gets in these moods around Christmas. So what's our prompt for next week is, what is the most offensive thing you have ever heard anyone say? So that's going to be dangerous, but I'm excited.
Fun. I think there's going to be a lot of cursing next week.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, well, okay, we can't really give it away because but I'm thinking, there's some potential. But I'm actually trying to think about in my real life what the answer to that is. And I don't know. I've heard people say a lot of wild shit.
I know. Yeah. I think I just got to think like the worst people in my life, maybe this week I'll just be like, "Hey, let me
Me
pay
too.
you a visit."
Your therapist is just going to be like, "No, I specifically told you not to do this kind of thing," and you're like, "No, I've got to remember the worst of people just for a
Yeah,
writing
for
prompt."
writing prompt. It's for science. It's for art.
Yeah.
All right, so
Fuck those
what's
guys.
if we're okay? So the most offensive thing we've ever heard anyone say. What's the closest you've been in recent memory, at least, to like just throwing hands with someone
Hmm. Can't talk about that one.
for legal purposes?
Yeah. That'll send me to prison. That one will get me fired.
You
uh
got family.
yeah. Closest I've come to throwing hands. Mm, No, I can't recall.
And if the answer is never, that's an okay answer too. You're more of an
Yeah.
adult than I am.
No, I have one.
All right, go
Okay.
for it.
So, I'm not gonna say where I work, but um, I work in immigration. It's very like fast paced, and the government gives us these requests that we need to do, and if we don't respond in a timely manner, the case gets denied, basically. Um,
I know the
the
story.
closest I came to throwing hands was with my freaking boss. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna say everything because I don't want to get in trouble. But whenever I tell you, I was sending this man weekly reminders of, "Hey, we need to respond to this. We need to do this. Hey, can I send this email to the client? Can I do this? Can I do that?" And the answer is always freaking no. And then it comes to the deadline of, "Oh my gosh, we need to file a response. We haven't talked to the client. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?"
If only we had a reminder.
If only. If only.
No, I can commiserate with that feeling for sure.
That happened last week.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So I say this as somebody that I am not. I don't want to fight anyone. I'm just not a violent person. When I get to a certain point, I will just I just can't take it anymore. There was a I almost got into a fight at a freaking apple orchard. Because,
Take
all
that.
right. Hear me out. Hear me out.
You're making applesauce.
I might be in the wrong here, but okay. So I'm standing in line. We're all checking out. There are a bunch of people in line. There's a there's me, my wife. There's a woman or a guy in front of us, and then there's a woman in front of him. The woman at the very kind of front end of the line has left a gap between her and the person ahead of her, maybe like 5 feet or whatever. Not that big a deal. I mean, it's we all see the line. It's we're not getting any closer. This guy just starts bitching very loudly about to his partner about how why won't she just move up, like talking about her loudly enough that she could hear. Just one of those assholes. There, yeah, I almost turned around and got in his face and just, I was very close to just being, those kind of people, those kind of bullies just really annoy me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
just, rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe it's the minor thing, but I don't know. Just the bad attitude.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think the closest I ever came to throwing hands was also at a shopping place. I was at Walmart. So it was an
Yeah.
apple orchard. And it was with the cashier. This is so disgusting. We put all of our groceries up on the counter. Okay. She checked out the people in front of us. And I mean, we had had this was 2010. So we had about $400 worth of groceries up there and it was actually covered. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. This woman proceeds to reach under her shirt, lift her tits, give it a good scratch, and then start to touch our food items. And I went, no. She was like, what you mean no? I mean, I was like, I mean no. Like, and she's like, I don't understand what you mean no. I was like, ma'am, you just gave your under titty a scratch and you touching food that goes into my family's mouths. No. She's like, ah. And she's like, can you prove it? I'm like, there's a camera right there. And she continued to like touch the groceries and scan them. So I stood there and I let her scan everything, every single item, and the total was like 390 something. I said, okay, you have fun putting all that back now, and I left. And she's like, you fucking bitch, blah 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 blah. And I was like, bye, and I walked out. Like, you can be as mad as you want. I'm not buying groceries covered in your from under cheese, ma'am. That's my right as both an American and a woman. You can keep your from under cheese to yourself, ma'am.
Hey, I guess the moral of the story is, although different things set people off, we do have the presence of mind not to fight people. So
Yeah.
that is the biggest difference. Like,
The moral of that story is also like, put some monostat under there before you go to work. Like,
that too.
don't be that guy.
There's a lot of good to be gleaned out of that story.
Yeah.
That and watch your cashiers. That was not even the worst cashier thing I ever had happen. Was the one that rings the truest for the moment. But I did go when we were in college. I did go to Walmart with a bunch of people, and I don't know if you remember. Her name was Maggie, but she was a very short individual. And like we were all checking out, and Maggie was like, "Oh my god, I'm small enough to get in the buggy." I was like, "Hop in the buggy then!" And I pushed the buggy with 20-year-old Maggie in it, and we get up there to check out, and the woman goes, "Oh yeah, I've seen some people with their retarded children in Walmart before." And I was like, Maggie's like, "I'm just short." The fuck?
Oh my god. Wait, speaking of, that reminds me.
Is she sure she wasn't autistic?
Whenever we had just moved down and Liam he had just started walking, so he was still kind of stumbling around. We what am I saying? He still stumbles around.
No, he's mastered it.
That's his cute factor, though. That's fine.
We went to a restaurant for brunch with my dad and stepmom, and it was me, Liam, Victor, and then my dad and stepmom. And Victor was holding a stuffed animal for Liam, and Liam was just kind of like, stumbling around the deck outside and falling and stuff. And the waiter or the waitress comes up to us, and she looks at Victor and she's like, "Oh, I thought that." Oh my god. I thought that the stuffed animal was for you. I see the baby now. I thought he was a little slow. I
No!
was like, what the fuck?
I
Then when
really
she
wish.
catches, whenever Liam comes up to her, she's like, "Oh, he doesn't need any food. He already ate. That's a big baby." I'm like, "Girl, he's one. Like, he can't help that."
What are you talking about? It's a child.
You call my husband slow, and then you call my baby fat? Like, what the fuck?
She'd have turned to look at me and say, "Hold on, bitch. You done insulted everybody else here. You ain't getting me. Fuck off."
That is someone that I can genuinely buy the defense of. I just have no filter. Because, like, there's part of me that doesn't think any of that was malicious necessarily.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was. It was just like, why would you say that?
Why would you verbalize that thought?
That's a big baby. You're a waitress. Fuck off.
I kind of want to have. I want to ask for stuffed animals at places now, just to see.
Pardon me, do you have a giraffe?
I just ask around, and sometimes I get lucky.
Can I have change for the claw machine? I want to catch a giraffe.
Oh my god.
Victor should have picked up the plushie and said, "What baby?"
That's not my baby.
Like, you can see him too. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, Kissy's losing her shit in there.
All
But
right. So what do we want?
I think last episode we had talked about I don't remember. Um
Some shit.
I know that I was reading that book, and one recent episode we were talking about um like what makes a classic book classic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we kind of got into um comfort reads and pop culture and things like that. I just started listening to a book that I've listened to, this will make 5 times because it's just a comfort read for me. It's the Powerless Trilogy by Lauren Roberts. Everyone should read it.
All right. At least,
Going
at
to the
least
Goodreads now.
at least you didn't say like some kind of Jodi Picoult school shooter book, comfort read. Like, oh, it's fine. It just gives me warm and fuzzy. I love 19 minutes. Ah.
I really like Handle with Care, where all of the baby's bones broke repeatedly.
Oh my god.
It's just a comfort read. Well, that's good. I'd like to. I'm in a bit of a slump myself because I'm not ready to start anything new. So I think I'll probably do something similar where I go back to. Now the trick is limiting myself in scope, because if I start a series, that's going to be a commit. Like, there's some series that I've got that are like 5, 6 books. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that yet, but
Yeah. This one is 3 books. And then she came out with like 2 shorter books that I haven't read yet that I might read. But after reading that book, The Bee Sting, which was like 20 something hours long, I just like it was so good. It was so good. And I'm gonna read more of his stuff. But I just needed something where I didn't have to think so much.
yeah, no, I totally understand. That's a very valid point.
Yeah, I could just put on Powerless and then I could just drive to work and be like, "Oh my gosh, I love these characters. Oh my gosh, I love the male main character. Oh my gosh, I would marry him too. Oh my gosh."
Wait, what's the name of the trilogy?
It's called Powerless, the Powerless trilogy.
And it's funny too, because when you've read or listened to something for that long, you get to start. You obviously remember all the plot points and whatnot, but you start to find yourself remembering how certain passages are written verbatim, and you're like, "Oh, I'm excited for this part to happen," because I remember.
Yes.
It's kind of very gratifying to be like, "Oh yeah, I still do remember."
Yes. The one thing I don't like about this book is at one point in each of the 3 books, the author writes something along the lines of the beast can never get the beauty, and
No, no.
it ruins
No,
everything.
no.
It's like, hey, here's the theme. Are you getting
Like,
this? Are you
right,
understanding?
right, like, you could just not put that line and it would be fine, but at one point in every single book, that line is somewhere, and I'm just like, "Oh, girl, first of all, like, I love this, but stop. Get rid of it."
I'm saying this because I care. You need to stop.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of people. Huh?
I just found out that whole trilogy is available on Kindle Unlimited. Huzzah!
All right,
Nice.
look at
I,
that.
w-
Now,
I went and bought me a Kindle because like I was tired of having it on my phone and never reading it and everything, and I'm very proud of my purchase.
well, that's
I
Nice.
good.
bought I bought screen protectors and a case. I feel special, but I missed reading, and something about reading that Marion Keyes book really woke that back up in me.
Mhm.
And now I'm actually reading one of her earlier series, The Welsh Family. They're an Irish family from Dublin, and I'm reading the first one, Watermelon. and like she has a baby, and then it's the day after she had the baby, and her husband sits down on the edge of the bed, and he's like, "Well, honey, I should probably tell you, I've been fucking the woman downstairs since about midway through the pregnancy, so I'm a dip." And they're living in London, and she's like, "Well, fuck it, I'm going home to Dublin. Fuck this." So she leaves and she goes back to Dublin. So
Huh.
that's
All right.
about where I am.
That's about it. That's all.
Pretty much. So
uh,
far, so good.
well, so far, so good. What do you guys? I've got a decent topic. What do you guys think about the? I'm pretty sure I saw a headline that said something that, like, according to a Goodreads poll or whatever, it's Hunger Games is ranked as like one of the best books of the 21st century.
Hmm. I mean, I could see it. I haven't read it, but
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. I That doesn't surprise me though, because I feel like Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like
Twilight.
all of those very popular series of books
Hmm.
are always going to rank super high
Yeah.
because
That's
like they're
yeah.
comfort reads for a lot of people.
hmm
Yeah.
And I would say so. It's funny. It's really ironic that none of us have read that because you would think that of all people that are self-professed. I mean, it's. I just never got into the series.
Yeah.
Having said that, I did read the series that Suzanne Collins wrote before the Hunger Games, and from my understanding, like all the themes and whatnot, there's very much you can tell she's kind of laying her blueprint for how she's going to write the Hunger Games. Um, so I think it's not undeserved in because I very much enjoyed her writing when I read it, and I can only imagine she's gotten better. But yeah, I think that those kind of polls do heavily skew towards A, people that are on Goodreads, and B, people, what is just most numerically popular at a certain point. And again,
Yeah.
you have to have a combination of the two to be that commercially successful and still have that many people appreciate your writing for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz I mean like I feel like I've read so many good books recently that I would like talk about with my friends and they're like I have first of all I've never even heard that book. I've never even heard of that author.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I mean it really has to do with the marketing of it and how old it is and I mean Hunger Games is a movies has movies now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and
like it's not surprising to me that it's ranked number 1.
I would say that it stands a decent chance in a way that I can't say the same for at least the writing style of Harry Potter. I think that it stands a chance of, still being read in 20, 30 years or so, not as like a classic or anything, but more as like a cult classic maybe, uh,
Yeah.
than, something like Divergent or whatever, or a lot of other
Yeah.
YA things that I think that Hunger Games may be YA at its roots, but I think it tackles enough in its subject matter maturely enough that it's probably gonna just continue to be a well liked
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. And that kind of thing, like all that stuff came out. I want to say exactly the same time because like Harry Potter started in 1997, and Twilight was big, and Divergent, and Hunger Games, and only the first book got a movie of the Shadowhunter series, but it was made into a TV show. I don't know how
Hmm
long that one ran, but like all of this shit, oh, not shit, but all of these books are escapism. And I think I figured out why.
Because
Because
we
it
all want
all.
to have a vampire boyfriend.
No. I mean, yeah. Come on. Bite me. And he says, okay. So, woo. But, like, as millennials, we saw the flipping of the switch from, oh yeah, one or two families has dial-up internet too. Everyone has everything in their pocket all the time. We were there. It was like a light switch. Like 1 minute it was the 90s, the next minute Y2K, we're all gonna die, man. Tubular. So we just
Mhm.
knew the apocalypse was fucking coming, and then we didn't get it.
Ah, that's a good point.
We didn't get
I've never
Y2K
thought of that.
happen. The only thing that happened was the calendar changed. That was it.
Yeah.
It's a new the number one is no longer used at the beginning. That's it. That's all that changed. And so we're kind of craving this Mad Max esque escape from the hellscape we have now. Hunger Games, Mad Max, any of the Marvel movies where they completely destroy Manhattan with a single car, all that shit. Like even like no finding out vampires and werewolves and demons are lurking around us and eating people. That's so much better than what's actually fucking going on.
That's a good point because I feel like in the recent year, I say recent, but like within the last 15 years, fantasy has like blown up because there's
Yeah.
fantasy, but there's also romantasy now, and like
And
that's a
smut.
huge, yeah.
Hey, we're gonna smut. We all want the smut. Give me
Yeah,
the
See,
that's a good point because even I have like I've started reading more fantasy. The Powerless trilogy is fantasy.
dick. Mhm.
And I've always been like, I don't read fantasy. I hate fantasy. And I mean,
Look
that's a
at you
really
now,
shallow
Vern.
way to look at reading.
I think
well,
they should do that name, Vern. Look at you now, Vern.
so I think you definitely can see, and it's easier to see in hindsight, trends in both writing and consumption.
Yeah.
I think that there is something to be said about dystopia, particularly as well. Taking, 2010s was the dystopia decade, and maybe we are now transitioning to more fantasy of a fantasy angle.
Yeah.
But I also think it's, in a sense, I think that a lot of the escapism that we see is just fueled by the culture we live in. I mean, escapism is essentially our number one form of leisure in most of the things we do, whether it's an escapism in the form of going on a spa day or whatever. It's something that's not your normal routine. It's getting out of what you've been locked into. I also think there's an element to it of the fact that the world's been explored. We've got the adventure of daily life for whatever it was before globalization doesn't really exist anymore. We all do just our same day to day. We go to work, we go home. It's a kind of a cycle, and so I think the um, escapism comes from it's a virtual escapism, but it's a lot more convenient than running into the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's ticks out there. Have you seen those things? People with Lyme disease. I'll take a book and a sleeve of Oreos any day.
I mean, I did that same concept with video games in a lot of the sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a very interactive form of escapism in that sense. I mean, not if you've got a good imagination, reading is the same kind of level. But
Reading is The Sims, except they leave the baby in the fucking bassinet. Fix it, EA. I'm sorry.
I'm reading now because I can't control the outcome.
Yeah.
like, uh,
When you're reading, do you try and stick as closely to the author's description of their characters as you can? Like in your head? I'm assuming you guys actually see the things in your head. Recently found out people don't see the shit in their head. They don't have
I
mind
know. I
movies.
learned that too.
I felt like Simple Jack's like, I got mind movies.
I'm in the sense I can, but in the sense that if I start thinking about it too hard, I sort of like it starts to blur just because it's more happening unconsciously
Yeah.
that I'm seeing
Huh.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I try to stick to the author's description because I would want my readers to stick to my description.
Hmm.
But I did recently just see a TikTok of a girl who was like reading, and the description of the male main character was like, he has blonde hair and blue eyes. And she's like, nah, he's a brunette. And then she like kept going. And I was like, I wonder if I like subconsciously do that. Like,
I
I don't know.
I know for a fact I did it when I read Twilight. I was reading the very first one, and she gives a description of Edward, and he's got like the blonde hair and the amber eyes. But in my head, he was the not Pete Townsend. What's his name? Stuart Townsend version of the vampire Lestat from Queen of the Damned, mesh shirt and all, long black hair, pale
Oh,
as fuck, fangs out all the times. Like, bro, we can see you.
changes the story quite a bit.
It does. Like, I know what you are, and he's like, no fucking duh.
So I as I've gotten older, I've tried to stick more to the author's description. I think when I was reading more, my middle grade fiction kind of era, that is I would have been more likely to just kind of, I don't know, brush it off, not think. And I still do. Like there are times that I'll read a description of like, wait, hang on a second, what blonde? Um, but I try. Not that I'm always successful.
Yeah.
The area that I'm really bad in, and I've still tried to improve, but like especially with fantasy, it's hard. You don't know how this pronunciation system works for this guy.
Oh,
Is that a long O? Is that a short vowel? I'm just gonna kind of go blah, blah, blah in my mind when I read.
Yeah.
I'll maybe say the first two syllables, and the rest is kind of.
his name is Killimer Bob drew his sword.
It just kind of peters out.
Yeah.
we
I
we had the first Harry Potter book read to us. It was brand new when I was in second grade, and Miss Rodriguez called that girl Hermione. Her, and then we see the movie, and they called her Hermione, and I went,
Hermione.
Hermione. Miss Rodriguez says, Miss Rodriguez, fuck it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Miss
I feel like
Rodriguez
in fantasy books, because it's a completely new world, I try very hard to like stick to everything that the author is trying to like paint
Mhm.
through their words because I mean, I don't know what it's supposed to look like. Um Whereas whenever I'm reading like realism books, my mind will tend to drift to like, well, he would look better as a brunette, or like, what
Mhm.
do you mean he has brown eyes? Like, no, he has green. So like I think it does depend on what I'm reading
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a new world with like crazy characters that have these crazy things, like I don't know, maybe I'm just not like creative enough to think of that myself.
No, I think no, I think
If he's supposed to have a proboscis instead of a nose, then yeah, you kind of got to
it's.
stick to it.
Yeah.
Well, no, honestly, no, I think it is. It's probably best practice to stick with what the author is saying. They're doing it for a reason, especially if that comes to tie into the plot later, and you're like, oh shit, I really should have been paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, to relate it back to writing, my favorite little phenomenon is always when you're at a certain point in a piece and you've mentioned a character a handful of times, and that you're like writing a description, and you're like, wait, they have brown eyes, right? Wait, have I ever clarified? Oh shit, I gotta check
Yeah.
that. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, no, I never specified, so now they're blue.
For me, it's the names. I'll name a character like in Mardi Gras. I have a character named Monty. Completely fucking forgot his name by the time I mentioned him all the way down in paragraph in chapter 32. I was like, fuck, I got to go all the way back to the top of the document. Monty, that's it. How the fuck do you forget
Yeah.
Monty?
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you like change a character's name halfway through and you're like, "Oh, I got to go back and change all the names," but then you forget like
They just
Susan, this is Errol.
yeah, they appear as a ghost in one scene, and you're like, wait, oh no, I forgot to take them out.
It's the ghost of that guy we forgot the name of.
uh, Yeah, I'm not the best with remembering the background character descriptions. I think the main goal at first, especially on the first draft though, is character consistency. Because you can fix, oh no, I wrote blonde when I meant to say brunette. Fine, that's a 2-second fix. You can't fix, hey, this character said they were completely adverse to this ideology, but then at the end they changed their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge plot hole.
Nah,
That's a black hole that's gonna
it's
up the whole
fine.
story.
So do you cut the line or do you double the size of the book? That's the question.
that is yeah. You have to go to have like a time travel shenanigans in the background and be like, all right, so this is the second half, very different than the first.
Yeah. Or just write it into episodes like a TV show, and then the next episode, fuck it up for everybody.
I will say that is so talking about things that are both classics and comfort reads, as weird as this sounds, the full version of The Count of Monte Cristo is, because it was published in installments. Okay, it takes a little bit to get through the beginning, but you can totally see how this was the equivalent of like 19th century soap opera. For sure.
Yeah.
Like, this was every episode coming out. People were like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, it is a soap opera, just told in book form.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But.
Oh, I was like, where did Frankie go?
She left us. No. Oh, man. She was really going to keep the conversation going because, like, I feel like I've thrown my ideas out there.
I know. I was gonna say something and then I forgot. Oh my gosh, Frankie's gonna have to cut all this out.
No, I'm kind of excited for when she comes and listens through it again. That's gonna be. She's like, I left them, and they're totally gonna be natural. They're gonna play it off. No one's gonna even know I'm gone. Sorry, Frankie. That's all we talked about. That was a good session. That was good.
What I miss?
While you were gone, we talked about the fact that you were gone.
Yeah, like, usually we're able to vamp and get through it, but this time it was just pure. Oh, Frankie's gone, and I got nothing.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm doing the 75 hard challenge, and part of that challenge is a gallon of water a day.
That's brave.
Which I just finished midway through, by the way.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah. So every time you see me just I'm trying to finish. So I'm not like up at like 10 o'clock at night going, oh, I got half a gallon left.
And at the end of the cleanse, you get to drink Everclear.
Yeah. You clean all the mud out the body, then you muddy it back up. I'm prepared this time. I got a binder. like a foldy binder, not a binder. But but yeah. The 2 workouts are fucking killing me.
What are
I
they?
count I'm just walking right now.
Okay.
And like one has to be outside. So what I do is I usually teach behind a desk. So for one of my classes every day at school, I'm actually up for the entire class period walking around. That's interesting. I count that as the first workout. And then the second workout, I come home, I put on my ugly hat and my ugly clothes, and I walk in my ugly driveway with my ugly shoes for 45 minutes. And like my thighs are on fire. Like I started it day after Ash Wednesday. So Thursday, I'm only on day 6. So like I started it while my back was out of place, and it slowly but surely put me back into place. I'm like, oh, I can stand tall, but everything still hurts. Huzzah. Like, Icy Hot, please sponsor us, just so I can get some free Rolly on. That shit works.
Yeah, I'm upset about the fact that I've come to appreciate that the pain will never end. It'll ebb and flow. Like it'll be less severe at some points, but like yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're writers.
Yeah. See, there's a line from the movie Whip It with Elliot Page, and Elliot is like rollerblading and stuff, and his friend goes, I didn't have a fat kid learns to rollerblade stage. I had a fat kid sits under a tree and reads a book phase. This is not for me. Like I tell it to my students all the time when we're out there on the field. Like, Miss Franks, why don't you come run with us? Like, I had a fat kid sits under a tree and eats a book phase. Not eats a book. Please don't eat books. While it is more nutritious than school lunches, please do not eat books.
Not unless you've got a gallon of water to wash it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some ketchup.
Some ketchup.
And now you know what I got on my SATs. Well, guys, is this it? Have we reached the end?
I think we have. I think it's come to
Wow.
a natural close.
It has. And this is episode 24. We only have 20. We only have four episodes left of season 1. Huzzah!
Hey.
Yeah.
And then I've got to look back at what I've written and edit the hell out of it all.
Yeah, we'll have to decide how to do that. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have a conversation about that because I mean we'll all want to have some input.
Yeah.
But
And we only had one community member ever write anything, so he's in.
yeah, that's fair. So we are.
We appreciate you.
So with 24 episodes, given that we've had breaks, we've been doing this for over half a year now.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
I've never done anything that long except be a mom and be pregnant.
I feel like that's cheating. I feel like there's a little bit, like they both bleed into each other a little bit. At least one into each other. You're still a mom.
No, you don't bleed until the end. No. Eventually, and in just 4 short episodes, we will have a beautiful season 1 baby birthed.
Yeah.
This is taking a turn for the worst. But did we say what next week? Next.
Yes, I did. It is. What is the most offensive thing you've ever heard anyone say? And it's going to be an interesting one.
Oh yeah. That was when I took my first potty break.
Yeah, we kept it going that time. Pretty impressive. Yeah. You know, if you could just replay the audio from that over the second time, people a little deja
Kelp, you know I don't edit. What else is she going to
All right.
Kelp. Kelp, I need somebody. Oh, copyright.
I have become Kelp.
I'm just going to call you a new nautical thing every week.
All right, that's fair. I want to be sextant.
Take it. Well.
All right. Well, this has been the Workshop Podcast, and I have been Sarah Billiot.
I've been Patrick Caleri.
And I've been a little annoying, but I'm getting used to my voice on the video. And also Francis Bartholomew Valentine. Don't steal my identity.
We will see you guys next week.
Yup.
Bye.
Bye.
I have expected Patrick to chime in with a bye.
Yes, no, I can't harmonize.
It didn't have to be harmonized.
No. People are going to hear this. There's got to be a harmony.
Oh. Well, let's try. You take the low note.
I'm not singing.
Bye.
Bye.